Hi, this is Peter Russo again, and we're going to watch an older chunk of video here about iPods, but I also want to talk a little bit about RSS feeds and the revolution thereof. One of the things that a lot of people don't know about, we had Web 1.0, and with Web 1.0, it was a requirement to try to get people to come to your website and bookmark it and whatnot. Tough thing to do to have people come to your site every day. Top of mind awareness was always an issue in Web 1.0. Well, they invented something called an RSS feed, which stands for Real Simple Syndication. What that is that people who use readers, RSS feed readers, Google readers, things like that, can elect to have your material pushed to them on a daily basis or when you update your website and or articles for article marketing, podcasts, etc. So having an RSS feed on your site could really help the traffic. Also, it helps to communicate with clients. In short, an RSS feed is really, really important for your website. Now, let's go take a look at an older chunk of video. It is a little dated, but the material in it's still good, and then I'll talk to you on the backside. All right, let's talk about iTunes. How do you get iTunes? What is iTunes? Behind me on the screen is apple.com, and I'm going to show you a series of screen captures to show you how to go get iTunes. Once you go to the Apple site, essentially you go to the download section and you download and install iTunes. It's about that easy. Once iTunes is installed, you'll have a screen that looks like this, and you're then able to go get podcasts or go ahead and purchase music, or even now TV movies and stuff like that, or full-length movies now. iTunes is constantly changing its look. I don't necessarily agree with the look of it or the touch and feel of it. To some degree, it's a bit tough for me to use, and that says a lot. So if you get a bit frustrated with it, it's just not you. It's a number of individuals. They haven't spent a lot of time on usability, I don't think. And I used to be a big Mac guy for 25 years, and now I'm not a Mac guy. So it's not a Mac versus PC issue, any of you geeks out there. I'm not slandering them by any means. But once you have iTunes running, you can click on the podcast menu item, and you'll see a screen like this. From here, you can actually go and notice the different categories of podcasts you can go get. You can also, up in the right-hand corner, literally be able to go and search for particular material in iPod or podcasting. As you can see on my screen, I've now got up the podcast page. So you can actually go look for any of the particular podcasts, and these are my particular podcasts that I like to listen to. Now, what's so cool about iTunes is something called push technology. One of the aspects about when Web 1.0, when the web first got started, people tried to capture your interest in coming to their website, and you had to actively remember to go over to that website. Well, that's not true anymore. With RSS or push technology, once you subscribe to a podcast, it's like a newspaper. It shows up on your doorstep every morning. So when you launch iTunes, it goes out and finds, is there anything new in the podcast that you subscribe to? Did you like it? And so it'll literally go out and get the new episode, and as soon as you port your iPod to that particular computer, it'll automatically download for you to listen to your iPods or your podcasts that you like. So right there, it's very, very easy to use, very easy to update. And so once you get a clientele moving, listening to your podcast or even your video blogs, they can be served immediately to them without them doing anything other than plugging in their iPod to capture the other things that they like, their music downloads, etc. And you go right in there too. So it makes it very simple way and to communicate as a free tool with iTunes as your primary driver. There are other sites that do similar types of stuff. There's Podcast Alley, where you can go find podcasts. Switchpod.com, which we'll talk about in another section. For those of you that don't know me, I never suggest trying anything to my clients unless I've actually done it myself. So it's an important thing that I got to go do it. So I hooked up with switchpod.com to host 101 marketing, as well as I have it back on my InfoCard site as well. iPods are really, really important as a tool to be able to utilize, as we've shown before, both the ability to show your material to someone via a porting device like the iMotion, or in this case, there's a little tool that plugs into the bottom of your iPod and changes it to an MP3 recorder. So you could actually do podcasts in the field. So if you're actually at a location, let's say you're back to that interior designer again, not that I'm pushing on them, but there's a good subject matter, and you want to essentially, from an audio standpoint, capture the first time somebody looks at their new place or new stuff, you could do that. Great testimonial, by the way. You could actually interview clients, current clients, potential clients, and utilize that in on your podcasts or your video podcasts for that matter. And it makes a great tool. Besides the fact, I think that Apple used to be that they made it so that they click in, and I'll show you the whole unit now. I just click the bottom in. There's actually at the very bottom an ability to put a remote microphone. Not that I found it necessary. This is a stereo microphone. You can actually turn it this way, and your subject will be talking in this side, and you'll be talking in that side. And it turns out to be pretty nice. There's also settings for fidelity. It used to be that the quality is pretty low, but not anymore. So there's a great ability to be able to utilize this type of tool. And there's a host of different types of podcast tools or iPod equipment coming online, and will continue to do so for some time. So from a core piece of your business, this is not a bad investment to get into and to learn about the different bits and pieces that go onto an iPod, functionality-wise, that help to showcase and drive more business into your business. Okay, so we saw an older chunk of video. A lot of those websites aren't around anymore, but other ones have taken their place as far as where to put your podcasts so you can syndicate them and hold them and host them. There's a plethora of them out there, so you don't have to worry about that. Also, your mobile phone has become a MP3 recording device, so you don't have to do it with your iPod anymore, although you would like to serve it from your phone or iPod. So once you get finished podcasts you would like to show or share, you can put them on your phone or your iPod, which makes a mobile television set, so to speak. So if you're ever in a bar or a meeting, you want to show a podcast that's pertinent for what you're trying to do, it's a wonderful tool. All right, that's iGoogle Friendly's RSS feed and iTunes podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today.